A portion of this video is brought to you by Sheath Underwear. For more information about Sheath, visit the link in the description below or wait till the end of this video to hear more about them from me.
This chart is pretty amazing right here.
Yeah. It's another one of those, what if Biden had done this videos? And they're coming in far more rapid succession than I thought they would, because Donald Trump is deteriorating quicker than I thought he would. From roaming around on the roof of the White House like an inconsolable, demented goof, wandering around the White House, having his nursemaid, Will Sharp, have to explain everything to him. We made a short, kind of a mashup of not all, but many of the times where Donald Trump is signing executive orders and has to explain what this is to the people, Will, or times where he doesn't even have him explain it to the people. He has Will Sharp explain what he's signing, sometimes after he signed it, to him. He's not ready. He's never been ready, but mentally his acuity is so off that he's just not running the country. He has no interest in running the country. He's more fixated on the ballroom and the flagpoles and whatever he was doing on the roof. He's not paying attention to governance. He's not paying attention to making the lives of Americans better. He set his sights on making things worse for everybody except the uber wealthy friends of his. Yesterday in the Oval Office, he brought in Stephen Moore, who, by the way, it's so strange that for all of Donald Trump's bluster and lies about having I disavow Project 2025. He sure does like to pal around with the authors of Project 2025. And that's who Stephen Moore is. He's an economist, heavy, sticky, icky air quotes here, who also worked for Donald Trump in the first administration. He's just a liar who misdirects and misleads on things that he knows better, just like they're doing here. I'm going to play this first clip before I get to Donald Trump holding up his weird chart silently in the room while no one asks any questions about what he's doing. Will Sharp's not there to explain anything, so we don't know. But Stephen Moore, I just want to introduce this as kind of the tenor for the day, tenor for this moment in time in the Oval Office, where Stephen Moore, one of the authors of Project 2025, standing next to Donald Trump, is telling everybody that they have access to data that no one else has. And they're using it to justify the firing of the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but also to rewrite history that things were so much better off for Americans under Donald Trump than Joe Biden. And again, it's with numbers that they have access to, this data, access to some data that no one else does. Yeah, that sounds super legit, Steve Moore.
Steve, could you say a few words about the various charts?
Thank you, Mr. President. So I called the president because I had some very good news from some new data that we've been able to put together that no one has ever seen before, and I'll just very quickly go through these. So I was telling the president that he did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs. Mr. President, that's a gigantic error. And I don't know if she's, I'm not.
It might not have been an error, that's the bad part. If it was an error, it would be one thing. I don't think it's an error. I think they did it purposely.
Whether that, you may well be right, but even if it wasn't purposefully, it's incompetence.
Right.
Okay, so 1.5 million jobs overestimated. We have access to the some data that no one else does on what has happened month by month with median household income. This is based on unpublished Census Bureau data.
Do you know how unbelievable it is to claim that you have access to government numbers? You've been granted some secret, super special access to numbers that no one else does. And what a coincidence that these new numbers that no one's ever seen, that you solely have access to, that they happen to support the narrative that Donald Trump wants everyone to believe. What a glorious coincidence. But the absolute best part of this is Donald Trump and his addled wandering. Even he finds time to wander in the small confines of the Oval Office in the White House, where he goes over to the Resolute desk and he's shifting through and sifting through these giant, like, golf lottery check size charts. And he's like, well, this is my favorite one. You got to look at this one. And he lifts it up. He doesn't explain anything because he can't, and because Will Sharp isn't there or wasn't beckoned to explain it. The chart doesn't, none of the axes actually explain which segments of what. It's just a chart. And for him, in his mind, it's a rock solid deal. It's a game changer, this chart. New numbers, he says. Watch this.
Under Trump than Biden, by a wide margin. That's the story.
I think when you look at them, they're all something, but this one chart really says it better than anything. If you look at this is great, but this chart is pretty amazing right here. All new numbers. Okay, so we're going to go now over to East Room, and we're going to celebrate some very brave people with the Purple Hearts. Yeah, please.
This one chart really says it better than anything. Impressive. So impressive, Donald Trump. You notice there was no explanation. Obviously, there was no explanation. It's because he can't explain. He has no ability. He has an inability to explain basic numbers. I mean, I think we're all lucky that it wasn't a chart explaining that he's going to lower drug prices by 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500%. We're all going to be rich, filthy rich, buying our drugs because we're going to be paid to buy them. At what point are people going to start waking up and asking questions about the mental acuity, the cognitive ability of Donald Trump? When? This wandering around on the roof in the Oval Office, this obsession with charts. I mean, look, this obviously goes back to the first administration. Remember the time, oh man, can I find this clip? Remember the time with the charts when Donald Trump added the little extra section to the hurricane path on his own with the Sharpie, and then hauled out the chart in a similar fashion to this. I'm going to try to find that clip. Hopefully we can get it. Because if I remember, and just, as much as I pour over the compendium of clips of Donald Trump over time, I want to show you that he's diminished. It's the same Donald Trump obsessed with giant weird charts. But there's a difference in how he communicates. There's a difference in how he looks. He's a melting candle right now. He's losing it. We will find it. Here it is, we hope. And I want you to pay attention. If you have to go back to look at what Donald Trump just looked like holding up the giant chart, and then look at this from 2016 or 2017 or 2018, whatever it was, there's a marked a degradation. I was going to say whatever the opposite of improvement is, but I could figure that out with my brain, right? Watch this, the hurricane moment with the Sharpie chart with Donald Trump.
We thought we'd give you a update on the hurricane. We got lucky in Florida, very, very lucky indeed. We had actually, our original chart was that it was going to be hitting Florida directly. Maybe I could just see that, Kevin. It was going to be hitting directly, and that would have affected a lot of other states. But that was the original chart, and you see it was going to hit not only Florida but Georgia. It could have was going toward the Gulf. That was what was originally projected, and it took a right turn.
I mean, come on. Obviously, I found it. I went and looked and found it. That's a different dude. Equally as dangerous, maybe more dangerous now, because there's no guardrails in his brain, because the brain's going away. But what if Joe Biden, again, let's finish how we started. What if Joe Biden had wandered around and, hey, yeah, no joke. Let me grab this chart. Look at this. And he just turned around to conservatives would be losing their mind. If he was up wandering around on the fucking roof of the White House, people would be losing their minds. And maybe rightly so. They'd be like, this seems like a problem for the president of the United States. It's like he's roaming around in a Dickensian type of novel in his sleeping robe and his weird cap up on the. But Donald Trump operates under different rules. MAGA treats him special and different than anybody else in the political spectrums. Anybody. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. Comment below. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Please make sure you're subscribed. Check to make sure. Sometimes people get unsubscribed, and that is clearly not great. Thanks for supporting the work. Thanks for engaging with the content, and I will see you next time. Be genuine and take care of one another. It is absolutely difficult to keep a cool head in this political climate, especially with the added aggravation of these overheated outdoor temperatures. How can you be expected to conduct any clear-headed discourse with your drawers in a sweaty soup? My go-to for keeping things cool, Sheath underwear. I'm wearing a pair right now, and let me tell you, it's like nighttime in the desert down there, all day long. Head to Sheath.com and use promo code Dollemore to score 20% off and upgrade yourself to the most comfortable underwear that you'll ever wear. How do they differ from your average boxers? Well, let me tell you. Invented by a U.S. Army veteran while serving a tour in Iraq, Sheath's boxer fabric is designed with a moisture-wicking technology. Their underwear features a unique dual pouch system that keeps all your man parts comfortably separated instead of sticking together. We all know the feeling of the old eggs getting stuck to the pan, if you know what I mean. My favorites are the airflow meshes, which seem especially equipped to handle my thighs. They're bigger thighs. But Sheath has also tons of other fabric options and designs that you can get into. And I'm clearly not the only one singing the praises out there. Sheath are recommended by multiple doctors and urologists and have over 20,000 five-star reviews. Also, Sheath supports multiple charities like Socks for Soldiers and Doctors Without Borders. So while you're upgrading your undies, you can be making the world a more upstanding place too. It's tough to focus on draining the swamp when you are swampy mess yourself. Sheath's boxers will help you keep the temperature down by bringing up the level of comfortability. Score 20% off right now at Sheath.com and use promo code Dollemore.